Okay, it's getting a little late on Tuesday. ShopDog says, hey, why don't you do a one take and just kind of catch people up with what's going on with the Henry. I haven't been filming my work. Sorry about that, but I only get so much time. So in a week or two, this is going to the upholstery shop. So it became very urgent that I finish what I wanted to do here. So I have been working on getting all of my powers fed over where they need to be, which is over here. Don't forget the one for the subwoofer. It's laying down there. Getting powers routed, getting all the sniper harness integrated. So you can see it's all back there. So the only thing I don't like with the sniper versus a Terminator or something is those big giant connectors. But, you know, in the big scheme of things, it's not the end of the world. We finally now actually have our ignition set up, and you'll note the correct connectors, because I hate when people just put spades on there, especially since it's real easy to think you plugged it in and you didn't on those, particularly on a small block Chevy in the back of like a 3rd gen Camaro or something where you think you got it but you didn't. So remember that bracket I made in the back? I've got a connector there, I've got a connector there, I've got a connector here, I've got a connector here. You know, just keep wiring safe. I did pull valve covers off to do this. In fact, I just put that one back on because on this side, not only do we have all this heat and the wire coming up for the starter, which is here, so we've got all this heat. I've got a bracket down there that I added to the back, and then a bracket to hold all the cabling there, because don't forget, right behind this valve cover is the tranny tube for the filler and for checking the level, which is never going to be fun in this thing. Never, 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 never. But you know, it's got to be somewhere. So we've got that, and honestly, this is probably actually going to go here and then the fat cable over, because I only get so many connection points, you know. So it'll be subwoofer off one, and then the cable going over that will go down to the solenoid on the starter, as well as, you know, the 2 fusible links going to both the fuse box and the alternator. And I have a wire with a 40 amp fuse on it back there that's coming around, and that comes around to this location right here. So that is my distribution point for the electricity I need to run the relays for these 2 fans right here and right here, as well as the oh god, I think it's like 2 amps max on the fuse that I need for the halos. Because remember, all I do is put voltage here, I get halos. So here is, I don't know if you remember, but we ran, in fact, we even got lucky, it said headlights. We ran a wire into the cab. It doesn't have a switch on it for right now, but I'll throw something temporary on it so that at a car show or something, he can just leave the little orange halos on without having to leave the car on or anything and kill his battery. I do want to extend the harness for the heater controls. It looks like that's going to wind up more forward than we had originally intended, so I do need to add wire to that. Oh yeah, here's why we're even in here. Remember, I've got the 2 buttons for switch 1, switch 2 for the Dakota. This just needs, you know, it'll just be 12 volts go up to it, flip the switch, boom, halos are on. So nothing fancy there. I've got notes all over the car reminding me of stuff, because who knows how long it'll be gone. And when it comes back from upholstery, it will go to Harlan's and we will finish on the lift. There's some stuff underneath, like the O2 sensor, and I got to block off the speedo hole on that C6 transmission. Just a bunch of other stuff. Oh, well, I don't know, a drive shaft, you know, those kinds of things. Those all still have to be done. Yeah, so I've been scrambling and staying up late the last week. I found out last Wednesday that this was leaving real soon, so decided it's time to make a push and just get this ready to go. I did put the tires back on it, you know, figured gonna want it to roll. I don't want to put it on the ground just yet so that I can do the wiring for the fans. So I just got this mounted here. So obviously I used nut certs like I tend to. And then the two relays, let me find the relay holders. ShopDog's kind of in the way. So if you're familiar with my videos, you know I like these relay holders. They're probably going down in here. I haven't decided yet, but I'm still bringing, well, I did bring that heavy wire here for our 40 amp service, and then I'll run two 12 gauge wires down to each of these, as well as a small gauge wire to act as our trigger side of the coil. Because remember, the Sniper only provides a ground. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's just an open collector ground switch type idea. So, you know, that only provides ground, so we have to provide power here, as well as then a power feed with, I believe this was the fuse they sent me for that. Only it also included the other headlights. I may pop this in here because it is such a tiny amount of current that those would short and burn up long before they blew that 40 amp fuse. So I think it's going to be a little uglier than I'd prefer, but I do think I'll try to hide it back in here somewhere. But we want it safe. Yeah, so hopefully I've only got 6 or 8 more hours and we can get this thing mostly together. I'm waiting some connectors that I ordered. I thought I had more for 4 gauge, and well, I mean I do, but not for the size stud I have. So I was digging around and looking at what I've got. I know I've got a box of them somewhere, but yeah, unfortunately I just don't have what I need, so I just ordered some because I do want to make those heavy cables nice. And I also still haven't figured out where I'm going to put it, but you know, it is one of those with the giant fuse for the subwoofer. Got to put that in there. That's a pretty hefty wire that I don't want to allow to short out. So that's all got to be taken care of yet. But yeah, it's if I can get all this done before this leaves, that'll make me feel a little better, because then it means everything left was stuff I was going to have to deal with on the lift anyway. We know the license plate flipper works. We know the tail lights work. We know the headlights work. Turn signals seem to work. I mean, you know, we tested quite a few systems. So I'd like to get a lot more testing done before this leaves. So sorry I haven't been filming this. ShopDog and I have been stealing time to do this, you know, almost every night this week. So it is what it is. So anyway, ShopDog says, thanks for watching. This has been a ShopRex approved video. Have a great night. Thanks for watching.